What's going on, guys? It's your pal on wheels, DJ Hot Wheels, coming at you for another video. I got on my phone still. In this video, we are going to recap Top Notch Wrestling Alliance Fallout. You know, it was their show this past Saturday. It was the last show of 2025. Hard to believe we are already almost at the end of 2025. This year's flown by. It's already going to be Veterans Day tomorrow. So, shout out to all of the veterans who have served or are serving. Thank you so much for your service. We all greatly appreciate you and owe you a lot. Because without you guys, we wouldn't have the freedoms that, we have today. So, let's get started talking about some wrestling. So, the first match of the evening consisted of the Alpha Bros putting their TWA Tag Team titles on the line against the Shooter Society, Chase Bennett and Corey Sparks. Now, Chase and Corey are no strangers to the independent wrestling scene. Chase has wrestled at TWA a few times, but this is the first time that Corey Sparks has wrestled at TWA, and this is the first time that Chase Bennett and Corey Sparks have teamed at TWA. Now, Corey is a wrestler who has traveled all over Ohio. I've seen him a couple times. I actually have a signed picture of Corey drop kicking TNA legend Suicide. So, that's a pretty cool picture. And Corey was also recently on, I believe he was on Ring of Honor when they were down in Huntington doing their Collision event. He was on Ring of Honor. So, that's pretty cool. I've talked to Corey a couple times. I think he's a really cool dude. And, it was great seeing him in TWA. But, it was the Alpha Bros decided, to start playing mind games and rolling out of the ring and just trying to get under the skin of the Shooter Society. And, the Shooter Society eventually had enough and came out and threw him back in the ring. And, it was a competitive match, and ultimately it ended with the Shooter Society hitting what looked like a grand amplitude, the finisher of former WWE Tag Team American Alpha, to capture the TWA tag titles from the Alpha Bros. So, the Alpha Bros have been terrorizing TWA and the fans, especially rifling the feathers of one Mama Patterson, which those are feathers you do not want to rifle. But we do have new TWA Tag Team Champions. And I should have mentioned this at the start. So the show started with Dale, Vitamin D, coming out. And he had former TWA champion Connor Cross on the phone, and Connor Cross informed the audience that he would not be able to make it this evening because of car trouble. And Big Rig was also out there for that, and Connor Cross accused Big Rig of tampering with his car and preventing him from being able to make it to the show, which we all know that was a lie. Big Rig is not scared of Connor Cross. I think Connor Cross is scared of Big Rig personally. But before all that happened, Big Rig was actually presented with a new TWA Championship belt. Yes, we have a new TWA Championship belt. And Commissioner Vane Lewis announced that the old one would actually be raffled off, and a lucky fan could win the belt at the show in March. It's, I think it was, and don't hold me to this, if I get the price wrong, somebody please correct me in the comments. It is $5 a ticket, or I think it might be $20 for 5 tickets. I'm not real sure. I don't remember the price. Like I said, somebody please, drop the price in the comments below so, the fans could get that information, because I definitely, for one, would love to have that old TWA Championship belt. So I'm definitely going to be putting my chances in for that. The next match saw DK Alexander and Stacy Lynn Patterson face off. Now, back in October, DK Alexander faced the Patterson's cousin Haystack and picked up a pretty quick victory over Haystack. So this time he was challenging Stacy Lynn Patterson, former TWA Tag Team Champion. DK Alexander has been demanding real competition ever since he has come to TWA, and he's wanted to face John Rossiter, but John Rossiter has not been at TWA in a while. So he took on Stacy Lynn Patterson, and John Rossiter's music actually hit, and we thought, is John actually coming out? But it turned out to be a ruse, and Stacy Lynn rolled up DK Alexander for the victory. Obviously, DK was very upset about that and proceeded to attack Stacy Lynn Patterson and was going to hit her arm with a steel chair, because the Alpha Bros did that a few months ago and it actually broke her arm. So DK Alexander was trying to do that again, and Timmy Patterson came out to make the save. And then DK Alexander challenged the Rockstar Underdog to a match, and the fans wanted to see it, so the TWA Board of Directors made it official. And after a distraction to the ref and a low blow, and DK Alexander hitting his finishing maneuver, he defeated the Rockstar Underdog. So DK Alexander is now 2-1 against the Pattersons. And then the fourth match, it was supposed to be Cameron challenging, or Cameron defending against Dirty Dax Knight, But after Cameron's brutal I Quit match with Alexander Crowley back in October, Cameron has suffered a knee injury and thus vacated the Legacy title. And so instead, DK Alexander fought a debuting Jason Reed. He is a relatively new wrestler. I actually got the chance to talk to him a little bit. He is actually training under Ace Austin. So, I think this young man has a bright future in the wrestling business. And the board of directors announced that this will be the first match in a tournament to crown a new TWA Legacy Champion. And honestly, guys, this was match of the night. These guys threw everything they had at each other, and I was just blown away by, the chemistry that these two men shared, and it was just absolutely amazing to see as a fan. Dax Knight, who is 174 pounds and actually hit a Death Valley driver on Jason Reed, who is actually like 270, 280, I think. So it was an impressive feat of strength by Dax Knight. And the match ended because Dax Knight decided to bring a screwdriver in the ring, but the referee took it from him. And then, as the referee was putting the screwdriver away, Dax Knight struck Jason Reed with the Book of Secrets, thus picking up the win and advancing in the tournament. And then in the main event, we saw, so back in October, Damian Abel, Alexander Crowley, and Dr. Smiles actually turned on Vincent Cross, thus ending Dead Cell. And Alexander Crowley now goes by the name Xander Crow. And collectively, Crow and Abel are now known as Necrosis. And they were facing Vincent Cross in a match, and Vincent Cross had the opportunity to choose his own partner. But should he not find a partner, he would have to go at it alone in a 2-on-1 handicap match. Well, Vincent Cross unfortunately could not find a partner, or so we thought. Necrosis started the beatdown on Vincent Cross, and then TWA champion Big Rig's music hit, and he came out to even the odds with Vincent Cross. Big Rig was supposed to defend his title against Connor Cross, but, Connor Cross obviously had car trouble, as I said earlier. So Big Rig stepped in to be Vincent Cross's partner. And, but unfortunately, that wasn't even enough for Vincent Cross to overcome Necrosis, as Necrosis picked up the win. But as they were going after Vincent Cross, Big Rig grabbed his signature crowbar and ran into the ring, sending Necrosis retreating. And that ended TWA Fallout. So, TWA will be back, I believe it's January the 10th for TWA New Dawn. So, definitely be sure to come out and support TWA in 2026. And with all that said, that is going to do it for me in recapping TWA Fallout. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I haven't listened to any new albums this week. Kind of just been listening to the same music I normally listen to over and over again. Working on beating Super Mario Galaxy 2 for my Switch. I started the Bloodline Showcase mode on WWE 2K25. I got to the Money in the Bank match with Tamina. That's where I'm at right now. So that's just kind of what I've been into lately. Before I go, I want to show you guys my new DJ Hot Wheels gear that my buddy Larry made me. Can't really see this shirt, but I'm actually DJing an event on November 21st. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.